In this, we're going to be setting up the Samsung S95C. It's the 77-inch, and it's their 2023 QD OLED top model. I'll be going through the unboxing as well as going through the initial setup, going around the menus, and then also how to set it up if you're going to keep it offline and also if you're going to have it online. But before getting into that, here's a message from Robert Zahn of Value Electronics. Thank you, Robert.
Hello, everyone. I'm Robert Zahn from Value Electronics. We're a custom integrator and a retailer, premium audio and video products. Classy, thanks for inviting me back on your channel. I always love being here with you. Please stop by and visit our website, valueelectronics.com. We're well respected in audio and video premium products. Mention to us when you call that you came from Classy Tech, and we'll extend every courtesy possible and provide the very best service and price. Any technical advice that you need, please give us a call. Thank you, and I look forward to meeting many of Classy's members here. Thank you.
All right, now we'll briefly go through the unboxing. So there's going to be multiple pieces for the stand, as well as the One Connect box. There's going to be 2 cable lengths for it, so you can have it mounted on the back of the TV or relocated elsewhere. The foam will be able to use the side pieces to hold it in place so it doesn't tip over. Here's pretty much everything that comes in the box. And there's 3 pieces to the stand, and there's a cover for the One Connect box that clips on to kind of hide some of the cables. There's a USB-C port next to the One Connect port, but that's the only ports on the back of the TV. So the included stand is a bit weird, and there's 3 pieces, and one has that little latch thing. You put the little piece on the back of the TV with screws, and then you lock in the latch, screw in the rest, and then you can put the One Connect box onto the back of the TV using the stand, or if you have the longer cable, you can attach it to the actual back of the TV on the upper right side of it. The remote is similar to last year, though smaller, still has the solar panel on the back, and then there is a full screen protector, and then you have these 2 hard rubber things on the bottom right and left of the TV that help it in shipment. Whatever was going on last year with the first QD OLEDs and cleaning them is no longer an issue. You can just use microfiber cloth, some distilled water, and it's fine, just like any other TV that you would expect as far as cleaning goes. And then now into the actual setup, you can either use your phone or the remote. First, I'm going to show how to just do this as a non-smart TV so you don't have to connect to the internet. Pretty much in the top right corner where it says skip, you can't actually go there, but you just keep hitting right on the remote, and then you can just skip through all of the initial setup process and keep the TV offline. You can do this if you want to manually see what the firmware is and manually update the firmware as you choose to after seeing what the firmware does. Whereas if you connect it onto the internet, Samsung is known for forcing the firmware to be updated from time to time. So when using it this way, you're only going to be able to use your connected devices. You're not going to be able to use the ambient mode or anything else. So when connecting the TV with an external device, sometimes it will change the device settings. So whatever kind of device you're using, check the settings on it to see if it has changed anything. Hitting the settings button and then going up brings you to this menu. You can see the 5 different picture modes are dynamic, standard, eco, movie, and filmmaker. And then if you go all the way to the right, you can go to list edit and then move these icons around. I like to put the all settings to be the very first one so that it's faster and easier to get into the full settings menu. From here in Filmmaker mode, in SDR is the only one that had the power and saving or eco type stuff turned on by default. Then I go to the panel care menu and disable the pixel shift and the logo dimming. Further down, you can see where the software update is, and it tells you the firmware of the TV. Now, most people won't need to go through all of these settings, but if you want to go through and look at everything, like here's the accessibility menu. You can even set it to grayscale, so everything's black and white. There's different settings for parents and so on. So you may want to go through and just see what applies to you. The intelligent mode settings will put the TV into a mode where it'll automatically adjust the picture and sound, and also connect to your device if it's a supported device and change settings. Usually does not look very good, so I would not recommend it. If at any point you need to do a factory reset, it's at the very bottom of the general and privacy menu. Under connection, that's where you can go to network if you do want to connect online, and I will show that in a little bit. This is also where you can set the input to signal plus. I do this on all the inputs just to save time, as when you connect a modern device it's gonna kind of go into a menu screen where it's automatically turning it on, and it takes a few seconds, so I just turn it on so I don't have to deal with that later. Under the audio settings, if you have eARC, you will have to set it to auto. It's off by default, and then I set the audio to pass through. And now we're going to go through some of the other basic settings quickly. Like I said, with the Filmmaker SDR, I did have to manually go and turn off the power and saving features. From there, pretty much everything else on it is mostly fine. I'll have a full and more in-depth settings video coming soon. This is just kind of the basic general setup. From there, I start up an HDR video on YouTube, and now you can see I'm scrolling through on Filmmaker still, and under the tone mapping setting, it's on static in Filmmaker, and then under color space, there's a few options, but mostly you just want to leave it on auto, which is going to default to the DCI P3 setting under custom. But if you changed it under custom to BT 2020, then auto would now be what is set under custom. So just leave it alone and leave it on P3. Otherwise, everything gets oversaturated. Now going over to the movie mode, it's going to be pretty similar, although it does have the tone mapping set to active in movie mode, which is going to make everything brighter. So eco and standard, basically the same. Dynamic isn't actually any brighter. So I suggest just using the movie mode for your daytime and the Filmmaker for night. Then under SDR content, again, it's the same type of picture modes, and I would just again recommend setting up your movie mode for daytime and your Filmmaker for night, and then you just toggle back and forth between those two. Now, if you did want to connect online, you can go to connection and network and set up to your Wi-Fi or hook in the Ethernet. Now you can do the software update if you want to, or you can update with a USB if that's the way that you're going to do it manually. But once you're connected online, now you have access to the Samsung free TV as well as all the apps. So this is just generally what the Tizen system looks like. And then the apps menu here, you can move or remove and rearrange them how you like, and then you can click on where it says apps to find more. One of the other big features that Samsung offers with Tizen is the whole gaming thing and cloud gaming. So there's Xbox, Amazon Luna, GeForce, there's multiple different cloud streaming services available to the TV. You can connect a controller and pick the service that you want to use, or all of them, and then start playing games. There will be some latency due to it being streaming, and of course the quality won't be the same as, say, playing on an actual Xbox, but some people are fine with that. And you will need to be subscribed to that service in order to use it as well. So you can see from the main Tizen menu, there is a controller icon on the left, and that is your entire game menu on the TV. Personally, I'm not one for streaming games, but some people like to do it, so it's there if you want to give it a shot. Now if you go up to the ambient mode, this is basically the art mode, so you can go through and pick some different art. It will have to download them as you click on them, but then once it's on there, you can go through some different options. So there's a different menu here for adjusting the image and how it looks. It's not like the typical settings menu. And then you can also change like how often it's going to change the picture and shuffle and all that. Above ambient is search, so you can search either for apps or shows, games, and so on. And then there's privacy choices if you want to change any of your privacy settings and terms and condition, all that kind of stuff. Then if you go down to media, that's your main screen again. And then going further down, you can go to your external devices. This is what I personally use because I don't really use the built-in apps. If you do hit the Samsung TV button on the remote, you can go into the TV Plus service here where you get free channels with quite a bit of free content. There's a full guide system, and a lot of this is done with other types of free content providing services like Pluto TV and whatnot. So you'll click on one of the channels and it can pop up and say Pluto TV or whatever, but it can take a minute for it to load and start playing, but once it does, it seems to be fine. Quality's not so bad. And that's pretty much it for the initial setup on it. I will follow this up in the near future with plenty more testing, a lot of game stuff to talk about, and a settings video, and then also the final review and comparisons with other TVs such as the LG G3 and the Sony A95L. So if you aren't subscribed, subscribe and keep an eye out for those to come in the near future. If you have any further questions or requests, leave them in the comments below and I will try to get to them in some of the future videos. And I hope this particular video helped you out with the setup of the S95C if you happen to get one. And that's going to be it for this video. So I thank you all for watching and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.